Hey guys, Connor Kakona here today, again back after a good while, and I have bigger projects planned than this one, so hopefully planning on getting back into it all. But to start off, just to kind of get my foot back in, and also pardon my hair, I just got out of the shower. But to kind of get back into making some videos, I thought I'd start with something fairly simple, and that is doing a Shonen anime tier list. So this was literally just a tier list I found online. This will have shows I haven't seen or haven't completely seen or only seen part of. But I thought it'd just be kind of a simple-ish list to do, and I thought it'd just be something kind of nice and fun to go over. So yes, we'll go ahead and get started with it. So first off here we have Ass Class. So I've been actually starting to watch this with a friend. So we watched, I believe it's 8 episodes. In overall, I'd say it's like a solid like C tier so far. I've felt nothing extraordinary from it, but I've also like only kind of gotten my foot in the door of it. So I can't really say much. Actually, I'd probably say it's a B tier because C I feel like is just kind of like whatever. Like this is bad, this is whatever, this is decent, this is good, and this is great. And then obviously never seen. So yeah, I'd say it's B tier. It's pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times we watch the episodes, I'm not paying full attention, but yeah. Attack on Titan, I don't think much needs to be said. Like, it's Attack on Titan. I got a whole AOT shelf. Huge fan, of course. So that's an S tier. And Black Butler is one I've wanted to see, but I haven't actually taken the time to see. The other Black Clover, I have seen all of, regrettably, and that one was just like a whatever to me. It was such a waste for me to watch those 170 episodes. I feel like there's a lot better stuff I could have been watching instead of it. Bleach, I believe I've watched 63 episodes of it, so I haven't like had the full watching experience, but what I have seen of it, I'd say this is a very solid, like, decent show. I know Thousand Year Blood War is coming out at the moment, getting really hyped up on that one, but, I haven't seen that far. Bleach is one that's like my dream list to get kind of around to, some of the really long anime like that. I really want to watch more long anime. I just have a shorter attention span, so after a minute, it's like, fuck, I don't care nearly as much about this show anymore. But one day I will try and watch Bleach. I will undoubtedly doing no filler, because from what I understand, Bleach is like half filler, which is kind of ridiculous. Boruto I haven't seen. Bungo Stray Dogs I haven't seen, and Deadman Wonderland I haven't seen. But next is Death Note, and to me, Death Note is kind of like on the teeter of a B and an A. I say it's probably an A because it's undoubtedly like better than these two. But I'm not like a huge Death Note fan, and I'm kind of disappointed with like how much people really like it. I think it's for its time. It was something really special. But I think nowadays it's kind of lost a lot of that. I mean, I watched it, I think, in what, like 2022, something like that. So I don't have the nostalgia for it and, like, remember the time that it was the greatest of all time. And you have to say something about its impact on the community. But I'm not the huge, biggest fan of it. Next, Demon Slayer is like an actual, like, strong A. I've enjoyed everything about Demon Slayer, the anime, the manga. It's been great. So I don't think it's an S tier. I think, like, maybe in the future, once more gets animated, it could go into S tier, but for now, it's definitely just an A tier. DGrayman would kind of go in the B. I believe I've watched 47 episodes of DGrayman, and it was pretty good. But yeah, nothing crazy to say about it. Yeah. Doro, I haven't had the chance to see yet. It is one that I really want to see. Not seen any Dragon Ball, and Dr. Stone is also something I do need to get around to seeing. So, Fairy Tail, that one would also kind of go in the C from everything I remember. It's kind of whatever. I believe I watched about 60 episodes of the show, and I've read about 80 chapters of the manga, and it's really, whatever. I think a lot of the character designs and the characters are what makes it special, but the actual story feels kind of bland a lot. It actually does remind me a lot of Black Clover. They're very similar in that kind of style, where it's really carried by the characters and the occasional, like, good fight, but that I don't think that compensates for a lot of its other problems. Fate Zero, I think I'd actually put in S tier. I love me some Saber, of course, just fantastic girl. But Fate Zero, I think, honestly, if I had watched Fate Zero first instead of Unlimited Blade Works, I'd love Fate Zero even more than I do now. So I kind of want to do it in that mind. I think Fate Zero has really high highs, Like once you kind of get past the exposition in the first few episodes, like it takes the ball and it runs the entire time, and it's a really enjoyable experience. Fire Force would be a B for me. I've only watched a few episodes of it, but I don't think it's anything too special. It seems pretty decent and like it's going places. I believe it's made by the same guy that did Soul Eater, which I do believe I bought Soul Eater, but I haven't read it yet, so I'll be reading Soul Eater at some point. But yeah, B. I would also put Food Wars in B. If it's like the first 3 seasons, A tier, but with the last couple seasons, I feel like it would go B. Like it fell off a little bit. It was disappointing. It felt like it didn't really have as much of a story tell towards the end, and it kind of just kept going. So, Fullmetal Alchemist, S tier. I mean, it's a great show. There's not much you can say about that. Gintama, I'd honestly put in C tier, but that's just someone that's watched 3 episodes of Gintama. I watched the 3 episodes of it, and I was like, really whatever. Pretty bored most of it. So, Gurren Lagann and Haikyuu are ones I haven't watched. I know there's a lot of ones I haven't watched, but I'm not a massive pure shonen enjoyer. I enjoy my fair variety of stuff. But Hajime no Ippo is actually a show I have been watching as of recently, and to me, it's a very solid A. I think it has a good chance of going to an S. It's just a really good show. They keep it paced really well because it's constantly moving forward. Like you're constantly in a fight or getting ready for a fight. Like there's always a sense of purpose going with it. So I'm excited to watch more of that. That was kind of when I started because I wanted to get be watching something longer. But yeah. Hunter x Hunter, I have not seen any of, but me and my friend are working our way up in some anime, and once we get to like longer anime, we'll be watching Hunter x Hunter together. Inuyasha, another one I haven't seen. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I have not seen it, but I read part 1, and I'm judging that purely off of what I read in part 1 and putting it in a C tier. Part 1 was pretty whatever. I don't know much more to say about it. Jujutsu Kaisen, a solid A tier for me. I think Mappa did a really good job with Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm looking forward to more of it. I don't have any really special attachment. I don't think it's like the greatest of all time, but I certainly find it pleasantly enjoyable. Kuroko's Basket and Magi I have not seen. Or that's Gate, not Magi, my bad. Gate, I have not seen Gate. But Mob Psycho 100, my first F. I've only seen season 1 of Mob. I thought season 1 was ass. I thought it was boring. Not a fan whatsoever. So hate on me all you want. I don't care. Season 1 of Mob is so overrated. My Hero, I'm throwing a nice B, but it's a pretty low B. Season 1 alone would be a C for me, but I actually recently watched season 2, and it was pretty good. It was nothing great, but it was something, and I enjoyed it. It was good to just be on and chill with it. So Naruto is another F for me. I've tried so many times watching the original Naruto, and I've not watched Shippuden, obviously. I've not finished the original Naruto. I think the deepest I've gotten is around 40 episodes in, and it's not good. I'm sorry, it's boring. It takes so long to do anything, and even doing a filler guide, even the episodes that aren't filler feel like filler. So I feel like this is absolutely a show you needed to have grown up with it to think it's like anything that good. Noragami, I've only seen 1 season of, and that 1 season I'd put at a B. I don't think it was anything crazy good, but yeah. One Piece, haven't touched it yet. One day, probably. Pokemon, a C, if actual quality, but in personal importance, it would probably be like an A. Obviously, that was the first anime pretty much a lot of people watched because played the games, all that kind of stuff. But Rurouni Kenshin, I'd say is a solid A. Although I will note that after the second major arc, I haven't really had the motivation to finish the show. So I was at episode 64. It's just because apparently the last third of the show is original content that wasn't in the manga. And it kind of doesn't really have as much of an overarching plot. I thought that was a really good part of the first kind of parts of Rurouni Kenshin, so I've been less motivated. But I do really enjoy the show, and I like the characters. Samurai Champloo is one I haven't seen, as is Owari no Seraph, Soul Eater, Saki K, and The Promised Neverlands. Yeah, I haven't seen a fair amount, I gotta be honest. But this one is an easy C tier. Started off really good for the 7 Deadly Sins, and it fell off pretty hard. Tokyo Revengers, I'd also throw in the C tier. I think that show's kind of boring as piss. I don't know who really sits down and is like, man, this is great watching middle schoolers fight. I got like 8 episodes in, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to check out personally. So, Trigun have not seen, Yu-Gi-Oh have not seen, and Yu Yu Hakusho I have not seen. So I know you're kind of looking at this and it's like, yeah, like half the list I haven't seen. Honestly, when I looked at the list, I thought I'd like seen a fair amount, but I guess once you kind of like lay it out, it's like, oh no, I haven't seen a fair amount. Especially like a lot of this longer stuff, like I'm Naruto and Boruto and One Piece and Dragon Ball. But there are some like Trigun and Gurren Lagann that I don't really have an excuse why I haven't seen yet. I've just been too busy watching like that time I got reincarnated as my stepsister's tights or some shit, you know? Just a little busy with the important things in life. But that would be my list. So again, I will be trying to make new content. You know, still kind of a busy guy between work and school and all that good stuff, but I'll do what I can. So, you know, look forward to the content in the future, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.